Don't blow up the house. Just close the door. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. This is it. Part 5, distractions and temptations. We can get to the point where in our journey to do what we believe, to follow after the Christ who has saved us, that it can be frustrating and we give up and we throw in the towel and we just give in and say, you know what, this is just too strong for me. And the reason why words like that are so powerful is because we're actually speaking truth. It is too powerful for you. That thing that has a stronghold or tie on you, or that's in your history, in your background, and even others around you are doing it. All of those points of influence, not even counting what's happening in our phones or on the internet or on the web or in social media, all of these things, it creates this orbit of oppression that would appear to be an excuse to just give up. But God gives us an alternative. Rather than throwing in the towel, rather than giving up, God invites us to give in. A part of giving in to Him is allowing Him now to close off those avenues of influence, to make that orbit much, much smaller, which then increases your opportunity to overcome. So when you go to a verse like in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Bringing every thought into captivity. Rather than saying, wow, those horses are too wild to ride, somebody at some point had to say, you know what, those horses are wild, but if we put them in a bridle, if we put a bit in his mouth, we can control and harness that power for our advantage. The same way, when the mind, rather than just saying, you know, I'm just going to check out, I'm just going to go get high, or I'm going to go give in, we take that mind that's wandering and running in 1,000 places and say, Lord, Jesus, take the wheel. I need you to put a bridle on my mind. I need you now to be a mind regulator. He's not a mind controller. He doesn't take away your will or your choice. You always have the choice whether or not to do your own thing, my way, or to do life God's way. Colossians 3:5 says, mortify. It uses the word mortify. Therefore, your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, and concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. The Bible is a beautiful book because it doesn't use words to identify our condition and then leave us as victims. Addiction is real, but when we say I'm an addict for whatever it is, it means on some level, it takes responsibility away from me. But when I say something like fornication, there is no victim in that. That's diagnosing this is who I am, and I'm walking in this way by my choices. In the same way I choose to fornicate, I can choose to be faithful. That's what mortification is. Mortification is letting that die, even by the power of God, killing that man, that self, so that God can then live in us. We do that in effect every time we make that hard, difficult, rough choice, especially in the beginning, to say, no, I'm going to walk up, not down. I'm going to look right, not left. And it's a constant battle. But here's the good news. As we're going through this mortification, just like anything we practice, it becomes a habit. It becomes the new lifestyle. And without, at some point, even thinking about it, we do it because, by the grace of God, we've got more victory than we do victimhood in our life. One more verse, and that's in Romans chapter 8. Verse 13 says, for if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if ye through the Spirit, oh, there's good news. If ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. So now you remember what we were just talking about, mortification, making that choice, making that move to the light, moving away from the dark. And it happens. Sometimes it might be 1,000 times in a day, but eventually it's going to get down to 950. And if you keep going down to 900, down to 200, down to 100, I think you're getting the point. You start growing in what God has already given you. You're not doing it on your own. by the Spirit of God, so we can cry out. Just like when you see these crazy movies and people are calling on the powers of darkness to do their dirty work, you've got good news. We've got help. We can call on the God of heaven and say, I need you to come down off of your throne and get into your son, your daughter, and I need you to do a work. If you do that, nobody can stop you. Hell, death, and even the devil himself. Nobody can hold you back when God is holding you up. So let's stop making excuses and let's claim opportunities. And if we can fall on our knees and fall, why don't we fall on our knees in faith and let God raise us up to stand?